in preparation for the rainfall that we are expecting. Forecast talks about more clouds, and as it did rain the last time the forecast said clouds, also it did not say rain, it is better to get this started. So here in this wannabe food forest, all the old growths got cut. There are a few spots left, for example here in the foreground, because when the rain comes, also this is green, it is better to have it in the ground for decomposition, and that includes the dragwood, so that this can break down and turn into mulch. The job here is not done. You see there in the background there's still a lot of standing stuff, but we do this now with a machine instead of letting the animals in, because we have a few things in here that we don't want them to eat, and we have other things to do. So watching and supervising and herding them would be more work than just using the machine to cut it. So there's always the right method given the situation. But in general, we like to let the animals perform the task, and we have done this in here and will do so again. I wish we had a better place for that, but that's lack of infrastructure that we need to build up step by step. And at the end, the old-fashioned way, by moving it manually, is what it takes. It wasn't supposed to happen, but these guys decided to leave. The fence failed, and so they started to roam. But in a moment, with some feet, they will be in, and then the fence will be good again. It happens, they won't go far. But as you could see, they are very curious. They want to try everything, maybe it's food. The guys decided to wrap the post in order to separate the wood from the concrete, and maybe that way the wood will last longer. But then they already got a taste of their future work, and they know that the food is in the truck, so there is no need to chase them, they will come. So what I wanted to show you is here we are digging a little bit more. You can see the markings there, and the idea is to make this a shallow pond so that when the rain comes we have water held back, and that way this should then step by step improve the area. This is not supposed to be very deep because we want to plant it over, so we will have trees sitting in here, and we will then see how that goes. It's a little depression, the same as you would find in a forest. And once that is done there, we will also take care of this high spot here and also make a little depression in here. So here in that area, and also there on the far side, and maybe another one further down there. We will decide this in a moment, and over the next few days all this digging will be done. Then we can distribute these bales of old straw. We just push them around, and everything else will be done by the pigs. They are easily guided, and we will have some sprinklers also ready so that we can wet the area where they are supposed to dig. And that way all this material gets incorporated and also cut very thin, because their hooves they cut, which is why nature has created them. And then we will seed this area with something that the very same pigs can then eat later in December, plus a few acorns from this group of trees and also these three here. So that is the plan, and we are implementing at the moment. And once we are done digging here, we will continue to do the very same thing in the second area, where the same system should be established. And of course we are also working on the fence around it, so that it will be pig safe, and then things will be good. Of course, now you might wonder why the pigs were able to leave. That is because our bovines had destroyed a lot of the wire that bring the electricity from the energizer down here, and therefore the pigs found a weak spot and were able to leave. So this is something we need to fix, and probably we will have a separate energizer for the area where pigs are in order to reduce the risk. They like to do this in combination with feeding. They eat a little bit, put themselves into the water, and then continue eating. After the thick fence post there at the entrance, about there, the guys also managed to set this one here and the one there in the distance. The idea is to make this straight lines. We have the fencing material, so now it's about waiting for the concrete to set, and then on Monday they can continue, and that means ripping out the fence posts that you see there that go a little bit zigzag, draw a line, so put a string there, and then make this straight and attach the wire mesh. And I hope the wind is not so bad, so that you can still understand it. It's thermals going off. And what we also talked about, Angel and I, is to add a water retention feature here, so a very shallow pond, just some 50 centimeters to slow it down and make it so again. basically there where the straw is. The straw here in the foreground. And the same thing here, also where the straw is. You can see some marking here that I did with my boot. So it loops around and then comes back there. So that this area with the straw is holding water for a little while. What also needs to happen, now that guys are working on this, is that we want to exclude the area where we have planted the vetiver, and the Bermuda grass is also coming up. So basically from here we go straight to the edge of the pig enclosure, and that way we have straight fence lines. And you can see here, this is green. It got nibbled on a few times, and it definitely is improving. So the area here where it's a little bit greener, that will be excluded so that this process can continue, and the pigs will work in the remaining part, which is the bigger part of it. And what I can also show you, this is a quick solution. So these wires transport the energy from the energizer to the pig enclosure so that they stay in. They have learned how that works, and they are able to detect that the wire is hot and therefore won't touch it. But the moment they detect it's dead, they will lift up the fence and venture out. So now this is a way to mitigate this issue. And by the way, here you can see an interesting detail. You see the different color? So there the plastic was burning because of the pulses. So electric fences can also create fire. All kinds of things to think about. Life is not without risk. So the vetiver, despite the fact that here and there some cows are nibbling on it, it grows with the grass. Of course there's a ragwort, but this gets controlled. And the thistles are also there, because here and there we spoil some water, or we spill some water. The Bermuda grass is also trying to get a hold of this area here. And these guys, they're happy, they have been fed, and now it's time for a siesta in the shade. So, some happy pigs. And we have also two. And some more, because now you're disturbing them, and I think there might be more food. So, sorry guys, continue with your sleep. And once the fencing is done, they will then be allowed in this area. And while they work here, the excavator works in the other area at the beginning of Zone C. And then the guys, the 14 pigs, they will move and do the very same job as they will be doing soon here. And then we plant something for them, and in spring this gets repeated, and eventually we get to plant the forest. That was it for today. Thank you for following along. Here is an impression of the Miyawaki style patch. There will be more in the next video about this, some more detailed observations how the palovnia trees in between all the other plants are doing. Till then, take care and come back in a few days to see how that goes.